Today I'm sharing with you some kitchen hacks that you are gonna wish that you knew sooner. Let's do this. Last Thanksgiving, my best friend was over joining us for Thanksgiving, and her job was peeling the potatoes. And then she took the top of the potato peeler and used it to get out like the little yuck parts of the potato. I had no idea that that's what the little top of the potato peeler was for. And some of you may be watching this and you're like, Kallie, that's not a hack. We all knew that. But I know there's somebody out there that's like me and you're like, wait, what? Hack number 2, my favorite way for cleaning your wooden cutting boards is to put some salt on it and then cut a lemon in half and then you just scrub. It gets your cutting boards so nice and clean. If you want to go a little bit extra when you're done, use a vinegar wash on afterwards. I use a DIY cleaner. I talk about it all of the time. It's 2 parts filtered water, 1 part vinegar, and a little tiny bit of Dawn dish soap. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You do though. You need that little bit of Dawn. I said it and then I was like, no, you do. You need that Dawn dish soap.
Put some Windex on.
God, please.
Spray that all over when you're done. Let it sit for like 10 or 15 minutes and then like wipe it clean and you're gonna have super clean wooden cutting boards. Also, just in case you don't know, your wooden cutting boards should not go in the dishwasher and you should be treating them with like a wooden cutting board oil. There's different oils that you can use. You want to use a food safe oil, obviously, and then something that's not going to degrade. I just buy like a wooden cutting board oil because I don't want to have to worry about it. If you need to stack things higher in your fridge and it's not like something that's stackable, you can use chopsticks to put on top of like a bowl or a casserole dish or like something with tinfoil over it or plastic wrap, and then you can put something else on top of it and stack higher.
Let's talk quickly about hard-boiled eggs. I don't know why, but I find them so hard to peel.
No, that's full of water. You almost spilled it all. No, don't grab that, Tate. Come on, baby. No, Tatey, no. Do you want a blueberry?
No.
Do you want a tater tot?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go get one. Let go of this. Let's go get one.
I have found the easiest way to do it is underwater. I don't know exactly the science of why it works, but if you fully submerge your hard-boiled egg while you're peeling it, it comes off 8,000 times easier.
If you do not have a kitchen scale, it's changed the game for me for cooking in the kitchen, specifically baking. I started using a kitchen scale when I started cooking bread, and now I use it for all sorts of things. It's honestly so much easier to use a scale than to use measuring cups and measuring spoons. Let me tell you why. 1, you don't need to dirty a million cups because you can literally just put your bowl onto the scale and then you just measure everything right into the bowl. And something I really love is actually I will reverse measure. So when I'm cooking bread, I keep all my bread in this like big container. I put the actual container of flour onto the scale and then I'll zero tare it and then I will scoop out from there and it will count down. It's just so brilliant. Speaking of less messy stuff, one of the best things that I've invested in my kitchen is actually some smaller cooking items. So I have quarter sheet pans. So a regular sheet pan is I think they call them half sheet pans. That's the one that most of us think of. Then there's the full ones, which are really big. The problem with these, I don't know if you guys are the same, is once you use them, the thought of then having to wash them can be a pain because they don't always fit into your sink. These little quarter sheets are great because you can actually cook quite a bit on them. Even if I'm cooking like a sheet pan meal, sometimes I will opt to do it on 2 quarter sheets instead of a half sheet because they're just easier to wash. I also have some smaller muffin tins as well, like these silicone ones, because again, just easier to wash them. You can buy these little like suction sponge holders. Great for the sink, but I actually like using them in my fridge. You can stick them to the walls and then use them to store little things like random condiment packets that my husband insists that we have to keep because he thinks he's going to use them at some point. Sounds like a me problem, but you know. Next time you have an old egg carton, you can cut it down to the size of your fridge door, stick it into one of the little compartments, and then this is perfect for holding your condiments upside down because if you have a lot of condiments like mustards and ketchups, once they get more towards the end, you want to store them upside down so you don't have to worry about like shaking all the condiment out. But the problem is when they're upside down, they flop all around in the door and they're like falling over and stuff. Okay, a couple of command hook hacks for the kitchen. The first one is I like command hooks for everything in the kitchen. I love command hooks so much. I love them so much I just lost my train of thought. The first thing that I like doing with them is you can arrange 3 of them on the inside of a door to hold like the tops to your pots. I use it for my Our Place pan top because I love my Our Place pan. I use it all the time, but the top is kind of like cumbersome and it's hard to store and it just keeps it like up and out of the way. On the opposite door, I have another hook and that's where I keep our little like strainer. Again, another one of those items that like doesn't fit into a regular drawer. Putting it in the cupboard doesn't make sense, so hanging it is the right option. In the past, I've also done this with my measuring cups and measuring spoons. You can put hooks on the inside of drawers and then hang them. Another trick for using command utility hooks in the kitchen is to use it on the inside of garbage cans to prevent your garbage bags from falling down inside of the bin. You're simply going to put 2 upside down utility clips on the outside of the garbage pail and then use the handles of the garbage to hook onto those, and this will keep your garbage bag from falling into the bin. I had this whole unused space on the side of my oven that was exposed in our kitchen, and I put some command strips here, and now I have an easy place to store my pot holders, and they're always at a quick grasp right when I need them, because I can't tell you how many times I've like opened the oven and realized I didn't have the pot holder. Now they're always right where they need to be, and they're making use of unused space. Next, I love using the command hook bundlers on the back of my kitchen appliances. This way I can easily store away their cords when I'm done using them, and they don't become jumbled messes in my cupboards. This works great for kitchen appliances, but it could work for other appliances as well, such as craft appliances or tools in your tool shed or on your tool bench. Another great hack for the kitchen is if you have a cutlery organizer inside of a drawer and it slides around whenever you open and close the drawer. This can be so annoying. Just use some command strips to adhere them to the drawer to prevent them from sliding back and forth. Okay, I've discovered the perfect simmer pot. I'm going to link the Instagram down below where I got this from. I love simmer pots. If you don't know what they are, you basically just like put some water on your stove all the way on the lowest setting, and then you just put some stuff in it, and it smells nice. You can do this in a crock pot too. Like if you have a mini crock pot. At Christmas, I like to do orange, clove, and cinnamon, but I found this woman who like found the recipe to what she said. They simmer, and I think like Williams and Sonoma, maybe, I'm not sure, but it smells super great. And basically it's a mixture of, you put water in, and then you're gonna put lemon, vanilla, peppercorn, and rosemary, and really measuring even is like with the heart. It doesn't even matter. Let this simmer. Your house is gonna smell so good, and it's a nice clean fragrance, so you don't have to worry about, I'm like weird about fragrances now. You know, the plastic cutting boards are killing us, the fragrances, everything's killing us.
But did you die?
Okay, simple hack to wash like the walls and the cabinets in your kitchen. If you don't know, these items can actually, not only do they get dirty just because they're in a kitchen, but they also can hold on to scents, and it can make your kitchen not smell great over time. My favorite hack is just to use a mop on your walls. So I've done this with the O-Cedar mops in the past. You want to wring it out really well, and then you can use it to wash all of your cupboards. You can use it to wash your walls. It also works really great with like the Joy mops, I think they're called. It's like a self-wringing, more of a like flat mop. Works really great for this as well. This next hack is how to close cardboard like snack boxes. They have the little tabs, but the tabs never stay closed. So what you're going to do is you're going to push in the 2 short ends and then one of the long ends. And then from the 2 short ends, you can kind of like push them inward so that they fold in. And now the 2 long top pieces can touch. And then you take that one long piece that's still sticking out and you can tuck that over to hold the box closed. This is a far more efficient way of closing your cardboard snack boxes or cereal boxes than the little like tab that they come with. Okay, this next hack is to cool your beverages faster. Now, if you have something that you need to cool, you might try to put it in the freezer or even put it in an ice bath, but you can actually cool it even faster by adding in salt. And that is because salted water actually lowers the freezing point of the water. And this extra cold mixture is gonna pull heat from your drink more quickly, chilling it faster than plain old ice water. Another thing I learned on TikTok, which I don't know how I didn't know this before, but Scrub Daddy and Scrub Mommies have these little faces, which I thought were just to be cute, but it actually serves a purpose. The hair is designed to help scrub the inside of tight spots like cups and muffin tins, and the eyes and mouth are designed to easily scrub utensils, so you just like feed them through, squeeze, and pull. Honestly, I'm not sure how I didn't know this before, but it is a total game changer for using these. If you need to reheat a piece of pizza, this is my favorite way that I have learned to do it. Instead of sticking it in the toaster oven where you risk it getting too crispy, or in the microwave where you risk it being too, take your leftover pizza and just put it into a hot pan. It's going to heat it from the bottom, so your crust will get crispy and your cheese will get melty without getting too crunchy. This next hack is for corn, and I honestly did not think this one was going to work when I tried it for the first time. What you're going to do is take some corn and you're going to trim off the ends. You want to make sure that you're not trimming to the point that you can actually see the corn cob on the inside, because you are going to be sticking this in the microwave to steam. Now, I have done my corn in the microwave before. If you leave the husk on your corn, you can microwave it for about 4 minutes and it steams inside of the husk. But what was new to me is once you take this corn out, let it cool until it is safe to handle, then you're going to cut off the bottom of the corn, and then you can squeeze from the top, and the corn on the cob will literally slide out of the husk with none of the fibers, totally clean. Holy guacamole, this is the easiest way I have ever made corn in my entire life. Honestly, sometimes I put off making corn even though my whole family loves it because I think it's a pain in the butt. Not anymore. First hack I learned is how to prevent your apples from browning. You're gonna take a bowl of ice cold water and you're going to mix in a little bit of salt. I would say I probably mix in maybe 1/4 teaspoon. You're gonna slice your apples into this water and let them sit for a couple of minutes, and then you can drain off the water. You can even give them a quick rinse if you want to. I haven't found that it makes my apples taste like salt. My children have not complained about the apples tasting, and it prevents browning. I find for well up to 24 hours, so I can cut, slice, put into lunch boxes and know that the apples are not gonna turn brown. Okay, this hack is for parchment paper. Now, when you get a brand new parchment paper, first thing that you wanna check is the direction that your parchment paper is coming. Lots of times it'll start coming out this way, like from the top, and it just makes it hard to get a straight cut with your parchment paper. So if your parchment paper comes in the box that way, you're gonna flip it around the other way so that it's coming up from this way. Then you're gonna take the top and you're gonna tuck it in like this. Now you can just pull out how much you need and pull, and you will get a nice straight edge every time. I have one more parchment paper hack for you.
If you ever fight with parchment paper, which I do probably like every other day, I recently learned a hack that literally changed my life. And the woman was like, if you're struggling to get your parchment paper to sit inside of the container, as I am here, she said, it's because your parchment paper is parched. It's parched paper. And I was like, I don't know if this is real, but basically she's like, get it wet. And I was like, this seems wrong. It's not wrong. If you get your parchment paper wet, you can now like fit it inside of any casserole dish or any. This literally has changed my life. I've used it multiple times. It has not affected the baking of my item at all. And I will now always unparch my parchment paper.
This is how to pour from one bottle to another bottle without spilling. In this example, I'm doing a large mouth jar to a smaller mouth jar, but even sometimes if you're going like large opening to large opening, water will drip down the side of your vessel and not go directly into where you're pouring it. You're gonna take something like hard straw, or I'm using a chopstick here, and then what you do is you're gonna pour the liquid down that item. Essentially what it does is it gives the liquid a path to travel. You'll be able to pour with no spills. This is especially amazing if you are trying to pour into something smaller and you don't have a funnel, or you're just trying to pour a liquid and you don't want it dripping down the side of the original vessel. Next up, we're going to talk about frozen vegetables. I actually have 2 hacks here for you. Now, first up, if you are going to be opening a bag of frozen vegetables or like any frozen food, like some French fries or whatever, this is the best way to cut your bag, because what it allows you to do is pour out what you need and then you can tie the bag closed, which I think is really brilliant. Normal bag clips do not cut it in freezers. Too much stuff gets shifted around and they always pop off. Now, another suggestion I want to give you is these grip sticks. I discovered these a couple of months ago. They are the best way to keep any bag closed. Any person who comes to my house is like, these are brilliant. Even my husband multiple times has been like, have you made a video about these grip sticks yet? Because they're just one of those amazing, brilliant products. All you have to do with any bag is fold it over and slide the grip stick on. They come in multiple sizes.
Okay, random hack for leftovers is to keep some of the disposable muffin tins. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, just like in your arsenal, and they work as the perfect thing to store your leftovers in, because you'll have a little serving of each thing, and then you can literally put these just directly into the oven to warm up when you want to eat them. They're also really great if you're having like a big potluck or a big party or after Thanksgiving to send leftovers home with people.
I have a child that loves grapes and eats so many of them. And I saw this hack for getting all of your grapes off of the stem. You just put it between a dish towel and you roll it back and forth. I did this vine. I rolled it for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, and then it took off most of the grapes. You'll see that some of them are left still like on the vine, but then I just removed all of the grapes that had come off, and I gave the remaining vine one more little like shake in the dish towel, and they basically all came off. This is so much quicker and better than pulling them off on one by one. Another food I love to eat but hate to prep is squash, until I learned a few tricks to make it easier. One, peel your squashes with a vegetable peeler. I learned this trick a couple of years ago, and I don't know why I wasn't doing this my entire life, because this is the way to take the peel off of a squash. I mean, obviously, why didn't I think of this? I was always like trying to manually peel it, which is insanity. And then 2, when it's time to cut a squash, don't just cut it like you're gonna cut anything. You're gonna add your knife to the top, apply a little bit of pressure, and then just rock it back and forth. And this squash is gonna cut so much easier. So you can see I did down the center, and I'm going to do the 2 stems. And again, I'm just going to a little pressure on the knife and then just rock back and forth. Easiest way to cut a squash. Okay, everyone loves a good rotisserie chicken. Nobody likes taking all of the meat off of it because you always feel like you don't get it all off. I always hate this chore at the end of the day when we've had rotisserie chicken. If you take your entire chicken and you put it inside of a Ziploc bag and then you just smush it around, which honestly doing it feels a little gross. Now that I've filmed it and I'm like watching it, it looks a little gross, but it works. You're just massaging it and all of the meat will literally fall off of the bone for you. So you're not trying to like cut around the perfect little bones and around the cartilage or whatever. It literally just slides off. And then you can just pull the bones out, throw them back into the bag. And now you've got all perfectly separated chicken right inside your little Ziploc bag for whatever you want to do with it. Usually I save some for like tomorrow's lunch, and then I will roll the rest up and I'll label it, and I stick this bad boy in the fridge for when I need some quick soup or enchiladas. If you have white dishes that look like this, I always just thought these were like actual scratches like into my white dish, but it's not. It's actually just the color of the silverware that has transferred onto the white, and you can get it off using the pink stuff, which the pink stuff, let's all just be real, the pink stuff is a miracle product. I use it on everything. Never thought to use it here. You literally can just pink stuff away all of the marks that are on your white dishes. This honestly, like, I knew it was gonna work the first time I did it, and it still somehow blew my mind that the scratches went away. Anyways, pink stuff will take it off. Look at how beautiful these are. Now I'm gonna go spend an hour doing all of my dishes.
All right, my friends, that does it. Some of my favorite kitchen hacks. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.